The descent into gambling. The story begins with a young man named Goni. Having just finished high school, Goni is eager to help his family financially, but he isn't interested in a traditional job. He wants a shortcut. In the world of high-stakes gambling, he finds his calling, but it's a dangerous one. Goni starts hanging out with professional gamblers, trying to learn the flower card game, Hwatu, a popular but complex card game in Korea. One day, he borrows money from a friend to join a big game. Being a novice, he loses everything instantly. Desperate to pay back the debt, Goni makes a fatal choice. He steals the alimony money his divorced sister had just received. He believes he can win it back, but he is walking into a trap. The men he is playing against are professional fraudsters, led by a man named Gwang. Goni loses every penny of his sister's money. When his friend realizes it was a setup, a brutal fight breaks out. Goni is left beaten and blooded, vowing never to return home until he catches Gwang and gets the money back. For the next few days, Goni and his friend wander the streets of Incheon and Seoul, hunting for Gwang. Goni is obsessed. He enters another gambling den and loses again. In a fit of rage, he pulls out a knife, threatening everyone to get his money back. Watching this scene from a distance is a man named Mr. Pyeong. Pyeong is the legendary #1 gambler in Korea. Seeing Goni's raw desperation, Pyeong steps in and settles the debt for him. Intrigued by the old man's skills, Goni follows him home and begs to be his disciple. Pyeong initially refuses, warning Goni, "If you enter the world of flower cards, your life will be destroyed." But Goni doesn't give up. He sleeps outside Pyeong's door all night. Finally, Pyeong sets a challenge. Goni must defeat Pyeong's bodyguard in a fight. After days of being beaten, Goni finally wins. Pyeong accepts him as a student, but on one condition. Goni must quit gambling once he earns enough to pay his sister back. The training is grueling. Pyeong teaches Goni that gambling isn't about luck. It's about the art of the hand. It's about speed, confidence, and misdirection. Your hand must be faster than the opponent's eye, Pyeong explains. He reveals that there are 3 masters in Korea: Pyeong himself, a one-eared player named One-Eyed, and the ruthless Agwi. Agwi is famous for his cruelty. He once cut off One-Eye's ear for cheating and lost his own hand in a game against Pyeong. As Goni masters these skills, he begins traveling with Pyeong to various gambling dens across the country. Eventually, they arrive in Busan, where they meet Madam Jeong. She runs an illegal, high-stakes operation and uses her beauty to manipulate wealthy men. Goni is instantly impressed by her. Madam Jeong offers Goni a deal to join her, promising millions. During a game against a retired army officer, things turn violent. Madam Jeong's bodyguard kills the officer after a dispute. Pyeong, disgusted by the bloodshed, decides to cut ties with Madam Jeong. He tells Goni to take his winnings, go home, and pay back his sister. But Goni has become greedy. He wants to keep playing. Seeing the greed in Goni's eyes, Pyeong demands a sacrifice. He tells Goni to cut off his own finger, the one he uses for card tricks. Goni can't do it. Disappointed, Pyeong tells him their paths are now separate. On a train platform, Pyeong runs into the legendary Agwi, who warns him that they will meet again. Shortly after Pyeong leaves, Goni receives a devastating phone call. His master, Mr. Pyeong, is dead. His body was found on the tracks with his hand severed. Goni is convinced that Agwi is the killer and vows to get revenge. Madam Jeong gives Goni a luxury car and starts using him to bring in massive profits. Goni hides his earnings in the trunk of his car, away from Jeong's prying eyes. However, Jeong is possessive and starts controlling Goni's every move. Meanwhile, Goni meets a man named Goni, another skilled cheater. Though initially wary, Goni realizes Goni's connections can lead him to Agwi. They target Agwi's best friend, Starkey, winning 400 million won from him. Goni also falls in love with a girl named Hwaran, but their relationship is complicated by his dangerous lifestyle. Madam Jeong, jealous of Hwaran, orders her men to steal Goni's car, and with it, all his life savings. Frustrated and broke, Goni manipulates Starkey into another high-stakes game. Despite Starkey's cameras and drugged coffee, Goni uses a jammer and his superior skills to win everything. But the victory is short-lived. Starkey's men attack Goni, leaving him for dead in a car dumping yard. Goni survives and discovers a shocking secret from a private detective. Mr. Pyeong wasn't killed by Agwi. He was murdered by Madam Jeong's assistant because she didn't want Pyeong to take Goni away from her. The stage is set for the final game on a private ship. Goni, representing Madam Jeong, faces off against Agwi. The stakes are ultimate. The loser loses their hand. As the game reaches its climax, Goni uses a psychological trick he learned from Pyeong. He baits Agwi into calling out a cheat. When Agwi's men prepare to strike, Goni reveals the truth about Pyeong's death, forcing Madam Jeong to confess in front of everyone. In a bold move, Goni sets fire to the mountain of money on the table, declaring that the greed ends here. A massive fight breaks out. Goni escapes with Goni, but is shot by Madam Jeong. In the final struggle on a moving train, Goni falls into the river, his money scattering into the wind. Epilogue. The movie ends with Madam Jeong identifying a body in the morgue, but it's not Goni. It's her own assistant. In the final scene, we see Goni in a casino in the Philippines, winning big once again. He has lost his master, his money, and his love, but he remains a Tazza. As the narrator says, once a gambler, always a gambler.